Ladies and gentlemen, hello. So, I haven't done a little video in a while, the whole thing with the holidays coming up and all that stuff. So, I wanted to go over some strategy that might help you out for those of you barely getting into cryptocurrency, or those of you that already are into cryptocurrency. Just sort of give you like a head, you know, a little tip here on how to maximize and minimize your profits. Minimize your losses. I'm sorry. Okay, so today, of course, we saw that massive bull run of all the altcoins, and now we're seeing them bleed, and it's pretty crazy. There's a lot of them coming out, a lot of them in double digits. Yeah, Sol token. A lot of it was crazy. Even dead projects. There was a project that was dead and it was up 40 cents or something like that. That goes to show you that people are just putting money in. The thing with cryptocurrencies is that right now we're at a stage where it isn't necessarily the of course, the more legitimate the company is, the more they're going to be worth. But what you have to realize is that this is also a money-making machine for a lot of people, and they don't really care about the projects. They just really care about maximizing their profits. So they go into whatever coin. Look at Cage Coin, or there's a tribute token for Nicolas Cage, or Dogecoin, or whatever. That still has value. So that to tell you, it's basically the way that cryptocurrency works is like a gold pan, where you put a little water in the sand, and then you kind of move the sand around, and then all the gold is on the bottom. Well, all the sand that falls out are the noobs and all the uninformed investors, and only the people that only the sand that stays with the gold in the end, the holders and the people with the wise strategies, those are ones that get to hang out with the gold. So I guess if that makes any sense to you. So yeah, we're seeing Ethereum drop to, was at 8 something. This is king right here. So you have a -7%, that devalues every other cryptocurrency too. So for those of you who are holding, this doesn't really matter to you, but those of you who are trading, this is definitely a time to put some action into there. The one that I have been very surprised is in Cardano. Cardano is one of the best projects out there. This is possibly the future of cryptocurrencies, and I mistakenly sold 4,000 Cardano, which is all I had really. It was like $120 investment or something at the time. I got around 3 cents, and I sold it all, and it was shot up like overnight, literally doubled overnight, and I kicked myself out of it. So I'm not about to buy in at a loss. So what I did was I put all my winnings, all my profit into, where are you at? Power Ledger. And Power Ledger, now it's down, but Power Ledger went from, I would believe it was 63 cents, and I only had 500, so I bought about 2,000. I went to 63 cents to 105, so that was pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm happy with the way that went. I saved it and I transferred it all into this. So that's pretty awesome, I think I'm just gonna keep whatever I have in there and just hold. Remember, guys, you have to have strategy, and your strategy is to, and I'll go over that in a second. Okay, so strategy. Okay, it's pretty cut and dry, but some people, they have a hard time with it. Okay, so first of all, how much will you invest? That's the main question. How much are you willing to invest? And the answer to that should be, how much are you willing to lose? How much can you afford to lose? Because the way that you have to come into this, you have to come into with the right mentality. And the right mentality is that this is a savings account, and it's money that you're not using to pay your bills. It's money that do not bet your house on it. Don't take a loan and use it. Don't do any of that. You have to be wise. Don't be dumb. Don't do something stupid like that. Okay, so it requires from you, out of everything, this is mainly about you, the way that you think, because you've been programmed to be a consumer. As soon as you have a little bit of money, you consume. You buy something stupid. You go into a restaurant. I'm pretty sure most of you spend like 30 to 40% of your money on eating out, and that's just the stark reality. Um, so structure, you have to have a structure to your investment. You have to have the discipline to hold it and not to spend your profits and not to jump in, on a bull run. Bull run means that you never jump in into a market when it's on decline. There's always a huge boom, and then there's always a correction. So just be careful with that. That's something that you should look into if you're gonna trade. So you have to do, most importantly, you have to do the effort. You have to make an active effort to research, because look, I know that there's a lot of hype in this, and I know a lot of people are gonna get burned because they don't do their research. If you don't do your research, this might be easier than it was in the past with traditional trading stocks, but it's still easy is a very subjective word. You have to do the research. Absolutely have to do the research. So if you treat this like a if you treat this like a get rich quick scheme, you're gonna lose. So alright, we'll go to the next one. What the hell was that about? Okay, so find a figure. Okay, so personally, okay, let me give you just an example. Alright, let me load up the notepad here. Come on. What the? Okay. Yeah, so my computer's been kind of slow. So let me give you an example. So for the next year, I'm going to be investing $600 in a month into my crypto portfolio. Okay. So those $600 a month. Now let me give you an example of what $600 a month looks like, because I invested $400. My initial investment was $400, right? So let me tell you what that initial investment, how it paid off. And if you want to join us, our little group here, we sort of how do you get rid of this damn thing? Alright, guys. Anyway, whatever. So here it is. Okay, so my initial investment was in Cardano. It was like $100 or something, and then right off the gate, like the first 3 weeks, it went to 419. Power Ledger, I got into the ICO stage. So this is my blockfolio. This is my portfolio from that same $400 investment, and some very, very, very minor trading. I'm only trading 25%. That's another rule. If you're gonna trade, never trade your entire stake, which I did. I violated my own rule, and I kicked myself out of Cardano. Fortunately, I managed to stay. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Around right there. I got this at 10 cents, 9 cents. The initial, actually it was 512, I mislabeled that. I got it and it shot up to 56 cents like the first month, less than the first month or something like that. So those $50 that I put in turned into $285, and right now it's worth about 500. But I also bought in, so I kicked myself for that stupidly, and I bought into this. Anyway, moving on. So that was I would say October, November, early November, and now this is current day, and it's fluctuating. It was super high, now it's gonna drop a little bit, but this is 5,000. So $400 made me about $5,000. So I gained about $5,000 if I would have sold everything. Of course, it goes up and down. So this is the power of cryptocurrency. And if you want any tips, you want to share information, you have any questions, the community here, we have only about 37 members, but everybody's a lot of people here are well versed. I have a lot of personal friends that are here, and you're welcome to join if you want. It's just Cryptocurrency Collective, and it's the one with this picture on it. So okay, so personal budget, let me give you an example. So now in starting January, this is the way that I'm breaking it down. Okay, so starting January, I'm going to invest about I would say maybe 25% of it. 25% of it is going to projects. Okay, so that means things like I'm going to maybe put some money into BTC and then just never touch that. Put some money into maybe Litecoin, and then another 25% 25% is going into other alts. Technically, Ethereum and Litecoin are alts, but I'm using those because those are the top three. So, ADA, Cardano, those are my top, and then Power. And then I have also Dragon Chain, GN. This is the chain that's owned by Disney. Yeah, like affiliated with Disney or something like that. And there's also Publica. I'm not gonna invest into Publica. That's another one that's pretty exciting, but I'm not gonna invest in it. I'm just gonna focus on the top three, and then maybe trade with the other ones. And then the rest of it, the other 50%, is going to go into ICOs. So it's about $300 a month. So about $300 a month is going into ICO investments. Okay. And of course, like, you know, as things grow, you know, your portfolio is gonna grow. Like in 2 months, if it behaves the way that it's been behaving before, in 4 months, and about a month, those $300, those $400 should be another 5K. You know, so I mean, that's just based on the information I have now, but it's only been about a month. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? You know, so that's just speculation. Don't take it seriously. That's just me doing that. So the way I see it is $600 a month. So how do I get this figure? Okay, well, that's how much I can afford to lose a month. Okay, and how? I'm not paying rent anymore, so I'm actually gonna live in a van for a year, and all those, you see, you either do it or you don't. You just fucking make it happen. Yeah, it's gonna be in there and it's gonna be cold and shit, whatever. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You just make it happen. That's what you do. You make it happen. So in a year, that's gonna be, I don't know, about $7 grand. You know, like 7K. Let's say that was 7K. So 7K. You know, times, let's say an average return is about 10x, you know, I'm gonna have maybe 70K in the next year or two, whatever. Who knows though? Like 2017 was explosive, so that figure might be even bigger. So I mean, that's just speculation, but that's basically what it is. You take a personal, if your personal budget is $100 a month, right? And how do you get? So here's, you can tell yourself, how do I get to $100 a month? And that's how much I can afford to lose. Well, stop eating crap, right? Cut your budget. Okay, actually create a budget. See, that's something that most people don't do. Look, let's be real. You probably don't have a budget, so that should be one of your things. Create a budget, okay? Okay, and have that, and you know, have the discipline to keep that budget, right? So personal budget, that's the most important thing. How much are you gonna invest? You're gonna invest monthly, you're gonna invest weekly, you're gonna invest one-time sum. I'll get to the ICOs and the other investments, but this is important because this is more important than the other actual investments. Your mentality is crucial because you've been programmed to be a consumer. You need to deprogram yourself, and you need to think of this. You're gonna see exciting things, like you're gonna have the whole FOMO is called fear of missing out. You're gonna buy into a project and then it's gonna dump and you're gonna get burned. Be careful, be smart, be tactical, be informed. So what I'm saying. And invest in what? Okay, so here's how we get to the other part. Okay, cryptocurrencies and ICOs. Now there's mining, there's altcoins, there's HYIPs. There's so many ways to make money in the crypto space, but I mean, I've taken my gains, I've taken also my losses too. So I mean, I lost about $700 into this program or whatever. It technically wasn't my money, it was the interest I accumulated, but a loss is a loss. So here's some research material. Make sure you pause the video and research this. I'm not going to teach you this, guys. This is already, and there's people that are better suited to tell you this than I. But these are the important questions. That's the thing. You don't even know what questions to ask. So here are some questions that you should ask. Some research topics. Trust me, you're going to have to dedicate a few hours to each of these things if you want to get up to par. But again, remember that carrot at the end of the string is very, very, very juicy. So it's totally worth it. If you miss out, that's on you, dude. Okay, so all these things, pause the video and go over that. I'll go over what is a Bitcoin wallet, trading on Bittrex for beginners or on other trading sites. What is the blockchain? This is the key right here, blockchain. That's what makes this so valuable. One of the things, what is 2FA2? Security is crucial in this because you'll get hacked. I mean, you lose everything. It's crucial, guys. Is Bitcoin a bubble? What are the risks of Bitcoin? Udemy has a course for $10 on cryptocurrencies. It's actually by one of the people I follow, is Superman, and yeah, he advises on ICOs. There's also another guy I'll show you that you should subscribe to. So how do you get started? Create a Coinbase account if you don't have one. And again, I always have a link to the bottom. You get $10, I get $10. You know, no, we're not gonna get rich and stuff, but whatever. So create a Bittrex account, okay, and then create a My Ether wallet for CR. And I say My Ether wallet because that's one of the best ones out there. But be careful, and there are other ones, and do your own research. That's just my recommendation because that's the one that I use. Okay, what is an ERC20 token? The ERC20 token is the Ethereum standard. You see, what happened in 2018, that Ethereum came out and then it had smart contracts, and that smart contract created a spark which, this is why it's booming, because it was literally created last year, well, in the last few years. So what happens is that all these companies are launching their new it's like basically the internet 2.0, right? And whoever gets in on the internet, the first Google of the blockchain, the first Amazon of the blockchain, the first eBay of the blockchain, the first YouTube of the blockchain, those are the ones that are gonna go straight to the top. And that's why people are, it's like basically you going back in time and telling yourself, invest in Google, invest in this. But it's even going to be better because it's going to be decentralized, and the distribution of information and wealth is going to be, again, democratized. And that is the biggest thing that's happened in our generation. Okay, so that's why, that's one of the things that adds value to it. Okay, so that's something. And then that's another question that you have: how do I create a My Ether wallet? Learn how to do it, get well versed on it, because that's more than likely that's what you're going to use to invest in ICOs. Now, what is ICOs? And the top two things that your strategy should focus on, especially as a newbie, is you're only going to hold and you're only going to invest in ICOs. But ICOs, I'm not a financial advisor. There's a lot of people that even are financial advisors that aren't going to tell you this because it's highly volatile. But I will share with you what happened with, let's actually check this out. With this, I invested in Dragon Chain about $66, and at the highest peak, which was last night, those $66 was worth about $1,900. $66 was worth $1,900 last night. Okay, so imagine have you invested $10,000 into this platform. I mean, this is the Dragon Chain is the one that's affiliated with Disney. So right now, of course, it dropped. You know, it's at 87 cents. It was like the highest peak was about, the BTC. Let me see USD. It was about $1.18, $1.20 was the highest peak. So you essentially got a 10x return. Okay, so if you invested $10,000 and you would have cashed out at the highest peak, you would have made 100 grand, 90 grand actually. So that's why this is that's why ICOs is, it's crazy. And ICOs is basically a way for them to it works as a currency within their platform. I mean, you have to really I'm not going to tell you too much about Dragon Chain. That's its own video. I did a few hours. I'm not going to condense a few hours of research into like 5 minutes. So that's up to you. I mean, you're watching this because you know that there is a, be careful with this crap, dude. Be careful with all these like 2%, 3%. It's all crap. Don't do it. Do yourself. Another one, Publica. I got in this one like 10 cents. It's like, and I put in $15, and now it's like 150 or something like that. Power Ledger is one of my favorites, because Power Ledger, I got into the ICO, invested $50, and as you can see in my portfolio, it was worth last night I would say it was worth about $500, you know, Power Ledger. And I actually bought more. I have about 1,800 coins, which is about, right now is about $1,800, because it's like at $1 right now. So that was a 10x return. So, and I mean, in this, there's projections coming out like in 2020 it'll be worth $65 or whatever, you know. So that's cool, you know. That's pretty damn cool, you know. So that's the whole thing with ICOs, okay? And I mean, again, research, I'm not gonna go too much into research. Oh, there's also bread. I just invested me and my friend invested into this because the minimum buy-in was like around $350 or something like that, 0.5 Ethereum. So him and I went half on it, and I pretty much had like 350 worth of that, and then whatever that's worth, I think it's like 600-700 tokens or something like that you're gonna get. But this is gonna be a rival to Coinbase, but it's gonna be better because you're gonna get to keep your keys, and it's going to be, I think, decentralized. And if the company goes down, you don't lose your BTC. That's the best part on top of that, you know. So there's also other investors that I follow that are heavy into this one, and if you join our group, you will have, you know, the luxury of, oh wow, look at that, jeez, I called it, I totally called it. Look at this, all the alts are taking a dump, you know, and I totally called this. You see, I sold at 6,000. Let me see how much I can buy now. Okay, so I sold 200. All right, I sold 200. See, look at this. I can make this trade. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna make this trade right now. You know what? Nah, that's stupid. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? I'm not gonna do that. That's crazy. Well, you know what? For the sake of the people that are watching, the 2 people that are gonna watch this video, let's do a live trade. I sold this at 60.53. Okay. So let me show you an example of a trade. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase my stake by 65. So that trade, I sold 200 I sold 200 tokens, I think. 200 tokens at, how much did I sell it to? How much did I sell it for? I sold them at 250. No, 6. I sold at 6 something, 653 or something like that. And right now it's at 58.80. Okay, so 58.80. So let me just put a sell order here for 5,800. Okay. All right. So, you know what? No, sorry guys, I can't do this. This is pretty stupid. I'm pretty sure this is gonna drop a little bit more. So again, in the name of capitalism, I'm going to let it drop so I can increase my gain. Because if I buy now, it's just gonna drop even more. But you can see, if I buy now, I will get about 69 tokens. So that's about, when you really quantify it, it's close to $60, you guys. That's close. If I make this trade, I will make $60 right now, pretty much, or I'll just increase my holdings by 69. Okay, so that's the power of trading. Okay, so yeah, that goes to show you. That little dip can make you a lot of money. You buy low, you sell high. You know, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high. But I think we're due for a correction. So I'm going to wait until it stabilizes, and let's say horizontal, yes. Alright, so let's say we're right here, and we're at the 5 minute. Now let's do the 15 minute. Yeah, let's do 30 minute. And let's go look at the order book. Yeah, so we had a pretty good sell low at 61. So you know, Power Ledger is a really good project, you guys. So I think it might drop, but it might actually just linker there too, because I don't know, people really want to hold on to it. So I think it might actually be a good move, but it doesn't really matter. See, so if I sell now, okay, max. If I sell now at 58.39, let's just put in that buy order again. Buy Power Ledger. Screw it. Let's just buy it. It doesn't really matter, because ultimately see, this is why I never lose, because I'm holding for the long term. Okay, so when you're holding for the long term and you're doing light trading like this, you're never going to lose, because you're always going to have your tokens there. So that should be a different what's it called, strategy for you. Okay, so let me see. Alright, let's go to Bittrex trading. So what is an ICO? An initial coin offering. It's just like the IPOs. So I mean, that's just something that you're gonna have to look into. It's when a company barely launches, they release these tokens, and you buy them at a discount. You buy them like at 10 cents, and once they hit the market, they accumulate in value because people missed out, or the company has partnerships, or they're doing things, and it goes up. And the example of this and that has been very successful, and so this is one that I'm looking forward to. How do I invest? Most of these are Ethereum based blockchains, so you're definitely going to have to make your own Ether wallet. Okay, so Bittrex and trading. Alright, so your strategy as a newbie. Alright, so now let me see, so I can put a marker, because I know this thing's been kind of long already. I don't even know where the counter is. Whatever, I'll figure that out later. Okay, so these are the sacred rules that you abide by. First of all, organize. Remember, guys, go back to that thing. Go back to the, organize your budget and everything. So organize. Use an app like Blockfolio and then use spreadsheets to keep track of your holdings and everything like that, keys, all that stuff. But always keep them in a USB. Keep them in print them out. Put them in 3 places. Have an actual print it out. Put it in a safe. Whatever. Just don't leave your stuff on Google. Don't leave it anything like that. Be careful with that. So here's the thing. Your number one. The first. I'll probably just do another video just on this, because I know this is going to be kind of long. So the first strategy that you have is you're holding. If you're holding, you will never lose. Okay? If you're holding, you'll never lose. Alright? Well, unless Bitcoin crashes and the whole infrastructure takes a shit. But, that's the risk we take. So if you want to learn how to trade, trade with less than 25% of your stake. Like if you have 100 coins, only trade with 25. Never trade with everything if you really like the project. Another strategy is to increase your Bitcoin. Okay, so let's say the Bitcoin's at 17 and you buy Ripple, and then Ripple goes up to $1.20. You sell, so then you've effectively increased your BTC, right? So then you go and do that with other ones like that, but like I said, I pick a top 5. Cardano is one of them, Power Ledger and Dragon Chain's one of them, so I have a top 3 right now. So if I take from one coin and give it to the other coin, it doesn't really matter, because I'm kind of switching it there, and I never really lose. Like that, technically that loss that I put on that had on Cardano, it wasn't really a loss, because I invested that money into Power Ledger, and Power Ledger also skyrocketed, so I'm good. And now I have 1800, whereas I had 54. No. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So let's see here. All right, back to this. If you want to, diversify. Remember, pick a top 5, a top 3, and never put all your eggs in one basket. This is the cool thing about crypto, is that you have like a little mutual funds thing going on, and you can control it. Create a monthly plan, 50% into your holdings, 50% into ITOs. That's just to simplify it. Beware of lending coins and HYPs. Now, BitConnect it has its own coins, so it's kind of solid, but beware. Alright, so that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna be more thorough, I think, next time with as soon as I develop it and stuff, and the strategy is kind of a work in progress. But I think that's the best one. That's from what I've learned so far. That's the safest way to do it. And ultimately, a recap is mentality, reprogram yourself, create a budget, do the research, and join the group if you want the upcoming ICOs. Now, it isn't just there's literally 1,000 ICOs that launched, more than 1,000 in the past few months. How do you get through all the crap? How do you sort through all the crap? Well, token metrics is something that was developed by Ian Bellina, which is a former IBM employee. This guy right here. This guy is the guru of ICOs. So make sure that you follow this guy, because if you follow this guy and you invest in the ICOs that he invests in, sure, there are some risks like anything, but you minimize your risk because this guy knows what he's talking about. He has a free spreadsheet. This guy's pretty good too. This guy is also pretty good. So have your top 3, top 4. These guys are my top 3, top 4. And if you have any similarities in ICOs between them, you definitely want to invest in that. So let's see where we're at. 58.60, 58.77. Yeah. So I'm seeing if my buy order is still there. Sell order. No? Did I sell? What? Did I sell? Let's see. Orders. Let's check this out real quick, guys. Oh, damn it. Is it logging me out? Yeah, it's logging me out. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, limit buy. Yeah, 5,800. So I put a limit buy order of 5,800. You know, it's a quick flip right there. So that was a really good time. I timed that thing pretty damn well. So, okay, guys. Anyway, remember, join the group, Cryptocurrency Collective, the one with this picture. There's another one, and I made it first, I know for sure, but I don't know, that guy doesn't want to choose his name, so I'm not going to choose his name either. Alright, let's see what else. Yeah, guys, search for the group. If you have any other questions, let me know. Ask the questions in the group, somebody will answer them, and yeah, see, that's the main thing. It's just support for each other and everything like that, okay? So, oh yeah, here's Dragon Chain. Dragon Chain came out at 10 cents. Right now it's worth about $1.98 or something like that. So that's the beauty of this. Actually, one dragon was 6 cents. My bad. Actually, so it's more than that. It's more than 10x actually. So if you can get into a pretty good project at this price, then you know you have some massive gains. So remember, guys, you have my strategy. I have my strategy for the next year. Okay, you know, 600 a month into the platform, and that's money that I was gonna pay for the rent. That's not gonna hurt me if I lose everything, if Bitcoin crashes, if we get hit by a meteor. It doesn't matter, whatever. But that's money that I was never gonna see. So the sacrifice is that I get to live in a van, and it's not really that big of a sacrifice, but the gain is astronomical. Okay. So you do what you gotta do, or don't. It's up to you. But in 2 years, don't say I didn't tell you. I'll see you on the next one, guys.